Hey there, YouTubers. This is Ice9, and we've got another Madden Mobile video. A lot of stuff coming out for today. MVP sets are here, and we're going to go ahead too. We'll start out with... We've got a Trophy Monster 2, and we're going to go through... We've got a defensive unit set. Thank goodness. This is awesome. That means that everybody's going to be able to get elite defensive units. Well, not everybody. That's pretty expensive. Elite players are spiking today because of this and MVP. And so this is pretty expensive here, but it's a good way to get an elite defensive unit. And so now we should be able to finish up with 5 of them. One for each game plan. In theory, that should be possible. And as part of this, well, yeah, let's start out with the game plans. And they've got some new ones that are out. So go into Elite, Collectibles, Game Plans. We'll see if we can't find a mix. And this is going to drop prices on these guys too. So they've got a Playoff Pursuit unit here. And if we look at this, so, 10% long pass, 8% short pass, not a real good counter for the trips double post. That's not very common, but a pretty good boost. And so that's not a bad one at all. And that means that these regular non-playoff pursuits, just the regular defensive units that we've begun the year with, are going to be less expensive. That's a pretty good one. 8% run play. Strong IFB middle is a good counter. Long pass play. So that's a pretty good one. And now going under 2 million, where they have been hovering in that nasty 3 to 4 million mark for a while. So here's a Philadelphia one. That's a pretty good couple to counter. And the play is a good counter too. Not a bad one. Let's check out the Pats here. Y-Stick is always a good one to shut down, and shut down the run 10%. So that's a really good one. There's a lot of elite New England players, so that's not a bad one. There's our most feared one, which should be starting to drop in price. And here, we'll just check out these individually. Tight end corners are a real good one to counter, so that's not bad. Short and long pass plays, I'd rather have a run in there somewhere rather than short or long pass, but still not bad. Yeah, let's see if we can find any more. There's that Monsters the midway, and then we've got the stupid bug that EA hasn't fixed yet where you can't scroll anymore. Continually update. So I guess that's that. Let's go into the MVP sets. If I can ever get an internet connection here. And hold on just a second. Let me shut down. Sometimes that Wi-Fi is just terrible here. And we're going to go into the team set. So let's start out with the Master here. 95 cornerback with +5 acceleration. That's an excellent boost. More what you'd expect to see out of Gauntlet or Domination or something like that. So it's a really good boost. You can get acceleration boosts a lot of places though. Big thing about this card, the first thing I saw and kind of shook my head, was 87 speed and 89 man coverage. I don't know where the stats are to make this a 95 cornerback, but it ain't in the speed and the man coverage, and those are probably the two biggest things on a cornerback. So this is strictly an overall card. It's going to boost overall. It's going to boost your team pretty good with acceleration, but 87 speed means that this player's shelf life, especially by the time you do all the 32 sets necessary to do this thing, he doesn't have a very long shelf life, even though that boost is good. I mean, I guess at a certain point you could hide him in nickel or dime, but the problem with this too is we've got another slow 95 cornerback that people are going to start unlocking if they're in a league, and that's that League Sherman card. That's 85 speed, and he's taller, and it's got that awareness boost, which is really good. So then you're going to have 2 slow cornerbacks, and I don't know if I want to have that. So I don't know how interested I am in doing this whole thing, but I guess I'll take a shot at it. We'll kind of see how it goes, I guess. So going on to the regular MVP players, and Akeem Hicks here. This isn't a great card, and some of these cards are really, really good. I've done a bunch of the sets, as you can see, because they're good players as well as they have good boosts. But this is just one of those power moves. Isn't a really good boost. It's defense only, and really more pertains to linemen. So it's a very specific boost, not a great one. And then you could see that dead slow 65 speed, even though he's got 87 acceleration, which is more important for a defensive end. 65 is just really, really slow. If he was a defensive tackle, it wouldn't be that bad of a thing. But with the way it is, none of the other stats are really, really good. Hit power is very good. Power moves are decent. But that's just a really slow card, and I have no interest in it. And Cordy Glenn here, +2 strength boost at offensive tackle. And he's pretty slow as well, although the acceleration's good. That isn't as important for a tackle, though. Pass block is really, really good, though. Pass block is excellent. Run block, though, is not great in the low 80s. And impact block is just okay. So it's not one of the lineman cards that I did. And TJ Ward, and I do believe his hero, he was the hero too for the Broncos this year, which is kind of weird that they picked the same player, kind of lazy by EA. But if we look at this card, 86 speed's not spectacular. +2 tackle boost is only defense, of course, and it's also very redundant. That's a boost that you get +5 from Von Miller. So just not a real good boost. Zone coverage is very good, though. Pursuit's decent, so it's not a bad card. From a gameplay point of view, it's probably pretty good, but just not one of the ones that I did so far. And Joe Hayden. And +2 man coverage, that is a decent boost. That really helps out everybody, especially the cornerbacks, of course, and maybe linebackers a little bit as well. But again, that 87 speed, so he's not very fast. His acceleration's good, but not very fast, not very strong, pretty agile. Tackle's just okay. Man coverage is 93, which is certainly very good, but play recognition is 88, which isn't great, and the zone coverage is 89. So coverages don't make up for the speed, though, so not a real good card, and I didn't go for that one either, obviously. This is a pretty good card. Only thing about it is that catch is really low at 86. But 88 speed, 81 strength, so fairly fast, very strong, and a good jump number for a 6'5" wide receiver. And there you have it, a good jump ball wide receiver. However, not real fast, though. Just more strong than anything. So not one of the first ones that I unlocked there. And tight ends were already so, mostly everybody who's been playing pretty seriously now has Gronk and Eifert, both which were, required just the effort to go into doing them and the sets and all that stuff for Gronk. But by this time, going back to a 92 tight end, so we got to really justify that with gameplay. And 85 speed is definitely better than Eifert, which is not surprising. Everybody's faster than Eifert. And the 90 catch isn't bad. Blocking stats aren't bad either. So this is probably a decent gameplay card. It's just I can't see spending the time, effort, and coins on something like this to replace two higher rated players. You're certainly not going to replace Gronk with him. And Eifert, even though this guy will probably play a little bit better, the awareness boost is definitely a little bit better, and Eifert's a higher overall as well. Now, here's one of the worst of the MVP cards, and it's really easy to see why. A lot of these cards are really slow, and this one is really slow. 82 speed for Frank Gore here. The catch number's not great either. He's fairly strong, acceleration's decent. But just not a great card. And the trucking boost is a very, sort of a useless one, to be honest with you. So this is not a good card. And don't see myself doing it unless I want to try to do the master set. Jarvis Landry, that's a great boost. +2 acceleration. Not real fast though. Again, catch numbers pretty good. Jump is just okay. Carry is extremely high for a wide receiver. Not a bad choice for if it's one of the ones you want to go with, or if you're a Jarvis Landry fan, but not one of the ones that I went with. And middle linebacker is a tough position because a lot of us, myself included, went ahead and did Urlacher. He's got that great double boost, and he's also 94 overall. He's faster than this guy. Stats in general are better than this guy. Hit power is an interesting boost. I don't know how much it'll show up in film, but it is an interesting boost for sure. Not one that you see a lot of. This is a pretty good card right here. Agility is not a bad boost. Helps out both sides of the ball. And then if you look at the stats, they are not bad. Low 90s run block, high 80s pass block, and high 80s impact block. Not real fast, but the acceleration's really good. He'll probably play pretty well, this card. Just not one of the ones that I went for, obviously. And another tackle boost on a safety here. And I've got a lot of this, so I can unlock this guy. And if you look at it, that zone coverage is extremely high, but not a real good boost. And he's not really fast. So this isn't a bad card, but it's just not the first one that I unlocked. As you can see, though, I've got elites and golds to give me a head start on it. So I'm thinking about doing it, but I'm not sure if I am. I might end up doing that one and sell it and try to start doing that to see if I could get the 32, if I could do that. Mike Daniels here, finesse move. So once again, this is another boost that's defense and mostly defensive line. It's going to show up in that. It'll show up a little bit on linebackers too, but really more on the defensive line. It's not a real good boost at all, and this is a very kind of slow defensive end. So when you look at this card here, and the hit power is extremely low. So power moves are good, but this is just not a good gameplay card for the player, and it's not a good boost. So definitely one of the worst. This is one of the best MVP sets right here in Shaq Thompson. And Pursuit is a good boost. It's basically like a speed boost for the defense is basically what it ends up being. So that is a good boost from a gameplay point of view. Not one of the best, but definitely one of the better ones. And this guy is fast, and he's got really good coverage. Not sure what the play recognition is, but he does have some good stats in here, that's for sure. So this is not a bad card to pick up at all. Definitely one of the best. And onward, again, tough with middle linebackers. When you already have Urlacher, and you know sometime in the next month or two, I'm going to be unlocking Showdown Kukli. There's no reason to go for this. Hit power is not a really good boost. And then when you look at it, coverage is decent, not great. Not real fast. He's pretty strong. Awareness is good. So this card probably plays pretty well, but the boost is not very good. And gameplay wise, we've got better play. I've got one better middle linebacker already, and I've got another one better than that coming. There's no reason to do this set for me, as far as I'm concerned, except for doing the master player. So kind of interesting. We have a punter. I don't recall in the last 2 years either of the MVPs sets from 2015 and 16 having a punter or a kicker as part of the sets. Kick power boost in years past has boosted the whole team. So if you're strictly looking at overall, this is probably a pretty good card. Other than that, it's a punter. Who cares? Next. And another middle linebacker. Pursuit boost is a little bit better than a tackle boost, in my opinion. But coverages are good. This card is just okay, in my opinion. So if you don't have Urlacher, weren't able to get him, this is definitely a good way to go. But we Showdown Kukli. Getting unlocked here should be in the next month and a half, something like that. No reason for me to go for it. Another tight end, enough said. Look at the stats. Low 80 speed is not great. Blocking isn't great. Catch is okay. Totally useless card for me. This is a pretty good card, and it's kind of interesting that this came out because they just, of course, had the Halloween, the most feared, the second master set player was Antonio Brown with +1 acceleration, +1 speed. This card is not as high in overall, of course, 91 versus 94. And there's two big places, or one big place for sure, that it got taken out of, and that is speed. I believe that most feared player is 92 or 93, even when he's not enraged. Also, the jump isn't really high. So this guy, pretty short, not going to go up and get a lot. And he is not overwhelmingly fast. So it's a really, really good boost. I could see a lot of people doing this player, but it's just not a real interesting one to me, in my opinion. And if you're going to do one of the MVP halfbacks, this is the one to do. Much faster than Gore. The catch is much, much better. This is just a better card all the way around than the Frank Gore card, including the boost. The boost is acceleration versus trucking. Of course, acceleration is going to be a better boost. So this is a better card. The front page stats, most of them are better than Gore, especially the crucial ones like speed. He's very, very strong. He's going to boost up to upper 90 strength. And the catch is good. So this is a good card, and I'm sure it boosts up pretty well too. I don't know. For me, David Johnson, the team hero, he's pretty fast. He's been pretty reliable for me. And also, I'm hoping that they'll do like the last 2 years, and the master player for the Thanksgiving set will be Barry Sanders. So obviously, I will go for that player. If Sanders comes out, I'll definitely go for him, and then just skip all over this. Not a bad card, though. Now we're going to the ones that I've done. And I did a lot of linemen. I did a wide receiver, did a cornerback, did 2 safeties, defensive end, defensive tackle. So I've done a lot of these sets. And if we look at this here, so +2 strength, that's a really, really good boost. And we're basically looking at cards now that are like flashbacks, but one overall better and easier to do. Require much less in terms of elite trophies, just 5 gold trophies, need 10 gold players, 2 elite players. This is not bad. And thankfully, there are no specific team MVP players like the last 2 years that got monopolized, and usually they were really, really expensive to do these sets. So these are very reasonable to do as a whole with these elite trophies. Of course, though, because of this, elite trophies have absolutely spiked today. It's insane how expensive they are. It really is. But I already had a good number built up, so that really went a long way. I had 60 of them. I had 60 elite trophies built up for this whole thing, so it was pretty cool. I was able to do a lot of these sets, but that's a pretty good player. Strength, boost both sides of the ball, high 80s run in and pass block, and then a low 90s impact block, a really strong number there. So not a bad card, should play okay. And going on, so I've got a offensive line now that they all kind of boost each other. So I got Whitworth here, and a +2 run block to all, including himself, which boosts him up to 95 run block, and he's got 92 pass block. Just an average 87 impact block, and not overwhelmingly fast, or the acceleration's not great, but still a pretty good card, and I went ahead and did it this set, of course. And Campbell here, wanted to see if it would raise my overall. 72 speed on defensive end. It's a good boost, but not an overwhelming card, I would say. So I sold him. This is a good card. Lowry card here is very, very good. 88 speed, which is definitely good enough at this point. Zone coverage boost is not bad. An 88 zone already, so he takes himself up to 90 zone, which is not bad. I got him playing free safety now. And this is a great card. And I sold him just because I like the awareness boost over the strength boost. Awareness boost tends to raise overall a little bit more than strength, but from a gameplay point of view, this is a very mobile quarterback with a good arm and really good accuracy, especially deep. So this is a very, very good card. From a gameplay point of view, this is an excellent card, as a matter of fact. I went ahead and sold him and did the Carson Wentz set instead, and this is who I've got running at quarterback. This is a huge improvement over Ponder so far. Speed is very close to the same. Throw power, though, is very good. Throw accuracy, short, medium, are very solid at 90 and 89. And it's a great boost. This +2 awareness. So this is basically like the Nick Foles flashback card, but better. More mobile, a little bit stronger, better arm. So this is a better card overall. And of course, it requires less elite trophies than that Foles card. But that Foles card, if you had your eye on that, that should be going pretty cheap now as people try to do these sets. And this is one of the best sets in MVPs this year. 91 defensive end with a +2 strength boost, Dante Fowler Jr. And if you look at these stats, 84 speed is excellent at this point of the year for a defensive end with 90 acceleration, which is also very, very high. Good tackle number, decent pursuit number, very good hit power at 92. That's a great boost. The one thing about it is it's kind of like those Khalil Mack cards from last year and this year, very, very low awareness. That also means, though, that'll boost up really well if you have a lot of awareness boosters. You can boost them up to 99 potentially. But from a gameplay point of view, the awareness besides, that's a good card. That's a very, very good card. And Lions MVP set. And man, boost is really good. And this is the only one of the MVP cornerbacks, including the master, with over 90 speed. He also has, in terms of card, when you compare this to Joe Hayden, who has the same boost, this is a better card. Got better man coverage. He's faster, better play recognition. So altogether, this is just a better card than that Hayden card. Raiders MVP with an impact block boost, and 94 pass block is very, very high. Wish that run block was a little bit higher. The impact block, though, he'll boost himself up to 93, so that's a good one, and that's the reason I did the set. Saints MVP, Jari Evans, and pass block boost. So we've got a run block booster. I'll just show it on the team here in a second. Pass block booster and an impact block booster. Everybody helps everybody out on the offensive line. And although it'd be nice if they helped out the rest of the team, that's still kind of a cool way to go with it. This is not a very fast player, and the blocking stats are just kind of okay. Boosts himself up to 91. So not a great card, not one of the better ones, but I went ahead and did it, mostly because of Football Outsider. The elites required to do it were definitely less expensive, and I had 2 on the bench. I went ahead and knocked that set out. Seahawks MVP with arguably the best boost going, besides speed, of course, which they're not giving us much at all this year, and Cam Chancellor. So +2 awareness boost, and as per what they usually do with Cam Chancellor cards, he's not overwhelmingly fast. The coverages are not overwhelmingly good, so it's a better boost than a gameplay card. But I do like Cam Chancellor, so I'm running him on my team. I'm going to see how he does in terms of gameplay. But that's a really, really good boost and definitely one of the better ones to do. All right, Will Fuller the 5th here. And if you look at this one, the only wide receiver over 90 speed, and that's why I went ahead and did this one. 91 catch isn't bad. Carry numbers fairly high. 90 jump with boosting himself, and wasn't one of the bad cards to do at all. And then on to the Vikings here, and even though this is a tackle boost, which as I mentioned before is kind of redundant, it's still not a horrible one to do. This is a pretty good card from a gameplay point of view. Hit power is not overwhelming, but the power moves are good. He's very strong. and the speed is okay. So all in all, it helps overall more than anything, but that isn't a bad card for clogging up the middle. All right, so that's that. And then we're going to go on. We've got these defensive units, of course, and this just came out. So 11 elite trophies and 20, or 11 elite players and 20 elite trophies. That's very, very expensive, but it's certainly going to be a good one. And with those new defensive units that are coming out, the playoff pursuit units, which are a little bit better than the original ones, that means defensive units are going to be more attainable to more people, which is going to be a pain in the ass. It's already harder to play this year. That's certainly not going to help out, but it is equal for everybody. So if you did these X Factor players with all these trophies, these are becoming increasingly irrelevant. That's probably why they made it a live event. What they really need to do is bring out a new round of these guys with better overalls. Second trophy monster just came out, and +2 awareness, that's a great boost. When we think about trophy monster last year, Deion Sanders, so that was a better card. It was faster, it had better coverages, better play recognition, and the same boost. This requires less trophies because elites are going for monstrous amounts this year, especially today. But we could really see what EA is doing. 91 speed isn't overwhelming. We would hope for something that cost me 75 elite trophies that I'd be getting 93 or 95 speed or something like that. But that is not the case. Other than that, it's a pretty solid card. Good play recognition, good man in zone, but definitely not worth unless you just got tons of coins and a really, really good team that's hard to improve upon. It's not a good value to do this set at all, that's for sure. All right, let's take a look at our weekly players. And we've got Ted Hendricks here. And with everything else coming out, this is just not a real good card. I mean, the coverages aren't great. The speed isn't awesome. There's nothing awesome about this card. It's got high awareness. I'm sure it'll boost up nice, but he's not very fast and the coverages are just not very good. So not a great card. There's the Baselli card from last week. And I've just been saving up these legend badges. There's nothing I've really wanted to do with it, but what I have done. So we'll go through and get into my team here. Boy, Wi-Fi is just keeps switching over and takes so long. So this is what the team looks like now. I mean, got Kyle Long all the way up to 97 overall, which is pretty impressive with all those boosts. And you can kind of see how this works. So we got a run block booster, an impact block booster, a pass block booster, and a strength booster there at the end. And Whitworth gets boosted all the way up from 91 to 99. So this is kind of the new scheme. If you're running all MVP players all boosting each other, it's a different way to do a good team. But as you can see, 95 run block and 94 pass block is excellent. Impact block at 89. So that's a really good card. And you can see, so boost, boost, boost everywhere, all the way around. Here's what Wentz boosts up to. Plays pretty well, been pretty happy with him. And I went ahead and did a couple of legends. I haven't had any legends all year. But with the new sets coming out today, people started unloading Randy Moss to try to do these sets. So that's where I took advantage, and I picked him up for $500,000, which is substantially less than what he was going for here. So you can see with the jump boosted and the catch boosted and acceleration and everything, this is a really, really good card, and he'll be a playmaker for me at wide receiver. And I got one on the other side of the ball. I need corners badly, and I've played so much in Hall of Fame in All Madden against this Champ Bailey card. I just know it's a pain in the ass. This card in zone or man is just it's a playmaker. I get picked all the time by this card, so I finally had to pick him up. One of the older legends, Picked them up for a couple $100,000, which is a good value. And you can see boosted up 94 man coverage, 93 zone, 94 play recognition with 93 jump and 90 speed. So that's a good card, and it definitely shows up in film. So that's my corner one. And we can kind of see what Lowry gets picked up to. And Thomas Davis gets picked all the way up to a 98 with 93 zone coverage. So not a real fast card, but that is a good card, and that's why I left it in there. Here's what Slay looks like. Pretty solid. And still got a couple of the older hero players on the team. But we could see Fowler Jr. gets brought up to a 97. Joseph gets brought up to a 97. So these players boost up very well. And I'll probably just keep those and get some more legends, or we'll see what's going on for Thanksgiving as well. But that's basically it. 95 overall now, 97 offense, 96 defense. With a team I really like the way it plays. And still got golds at kicker and punter. And, with punter, at least I get a coin boost. Who cares about the rest of it? Although that's pretty impressive. He boosts up pretty well. So that is basically it. That's my video for the day, guys. I want to thank you for watching. It's a long video, and good luck to you with the MVP sets, and look out for Thanksgiving. It is coming.